Nostalgia can be a great thing. Recollecting old memories growing up, reminiscing about the good times you had as a kid, and in my case, remembering all the video games I played. But nostalgia can also be a cruel mistress, and sometimes those memories are better left alone. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters is a one-on-one versus fighter released by Konami for the Super NES in 1993, and as a kid, this was one of my favourite games. But after 30 years, it seems to be a lot worse now than how I remember it. And age has definitely not been kind to this game. Street Fighter 2 on the Super NES had sold many thousands of consoles for Nintendo, and other software companies were looking to cash in on that craze, which was a very bold gamble, as it would take some amount of effort to topple the mighty Capcom from their top slot. Konami had decided to use a tried and tested franchise for their effort. Ninja Turtles games had proven to be very popular in the arcades and at home, and so Konami probably felt it would have been worth the gamble to use the Turtles in a one-on-one versus fighter. Something which was new to fans of the franchise. The gameplay follows many of the standard fighting game conventions. Battles consists of 3-round matches, and the first player to win 2 rounds is the victor. Each character has their own repertoire of basic punch and kick techniques, as well as command-based special moves. This game's controls use a 4-button scheme. You have 2 punches, and you have 2 kicks, and you have 1 weak and 1 strong for each attack. A particular feature is the possibility to use a super special attack. In order to achieve this, the player must fill a green bar under the life bar by hitting their opponents. Once full, the player must press the 2 strong attack buttons simultaneously. There is also the option of enhancing the speed of the game, making the fights more intense, but also more difficult to follow. There are several game modes as well, which I completely forgot about until I fired up the game for the first time in 30 years. The roster allows the player to select one of the 4 turtles, obviously, but there are other characters to select from. All in, 10 playable characters are selectable from the very start. The visual style is a little different from the Turtles in Time game. This time around, the turtles look a little more mature, more muscular, and certainly less cartoony. They are all animated reasonably well. Put it this way, the turtles are certainly the best they have looked in recent years, and compared to the other fighters in the game, they look exceptional. The other fighters look average. Well, they all look average apart from Asuka and Shredder, both of which look great, especially the Shredder, who looks even more menacing than usual with these huge spikes on his legs and arms. The backgrounds are your typical minor animation affair, with some odd location choices for fights, and the usual back and forth arm animations from the crowd. But I do like the rock concert setting with the fight taking place and a band just keeps playing on, kinda like the Vanilla Ice concert from Secrets of the Ooze. The presentation between levels is decent enough. The tournament mode feels more like a tournament, with the interviewing between bouts conducted by April O'Neil, making it look more like a game show. The sound effects are okay. The sound of the hits and slams sound a little weedy. In fact, it sounds like Konami trying to replicate the Neo Geo fighting sounds, but it fails to have the same impact. There is a small amount of speech in the game, which again was very normal for the genre by now, and it too sounds just okay. The music, I feel, is just average too. With some tunes it would be better suited to a platform game than a fighter, so overall, the sound gets a thumbs down from me.
Round 3, fight!
The playability is not how I remembered. Well, it is and it isn't. I had always remembered the game playing at this slow speed, especially compared to Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but after these years, I didn't remember it being this slow. The fighting is not exactly what you would call fast-paced or intense. In fact, it almost feels lethargic at times. But back in my younger days, I can honestly remember telling a mate that the game moved at a fair old lick and was great fun to play, which did lead to him buying the game. Both of us were Turtles fans, and so the chance to play a versus fighter using the 4 half-shelled heroes was too good to pass up, and I do remember the pair of us getting into the game and playing it repeatedly. None of us used the other characters. I mean, why would you? They were merely roster padding as far as I was concerned. And while Street Fighter 2 Turbo was still my favourite versus fighter on the Super NES, I felt at the time that this was in second place. Not a close second place, you understand, but more an option or alternative. But while playing it back for this video, I did find it a struggle to get back into the game, and I'm not talking about the controls or anything. I refer more to the feel of the game. After all these years, this game just feels poor. It feels an average game. I guess it just didn't stand the test of time, which is a shame. But I guess it's one of those instances of the memories being more evocative than the game. Not only that, but there are games I always go back to, games from my childhood such as Golden Axe, Revenge of Shinobi, Street Fighter 2, Star Fox, Mario Kart and the like. Games that were outstanding at the time of their release, and I still find them outstanding to this day. But Tournament Fighters was a good game, just not a great game, and I think that is why it hasn't stood the test of time. But back then, I think the Turtles license covered over what was a good game, and maybe that's why my memories of the game are skewed. Anyway, that was my look back at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. If you like this video, then please do give me a sub and a thumbs up, or maybe even a comment or two below about your memories of Turtles Tournament Fighters. And a massive thank you to all those who have subscribed and commented on my channel. Your feedback and support really does go a long way in helping the channel grow, and I do appreciate all of your contributions, so it's a massive thank you from me. And that's all from me, folks. Thanks for watching.
Let's kick down.